Whitney Plantation is located in Wallace, Louisiana, and is the first and only museum in the United States that is completely focused on highlighting the harsh realities of slavery from a slave's perspective. This museum is so impactful because it puts the visitors in the shoes of an enslaved individual through tours of memorials, monuments, and the restored buildings that were initially built by slaves.
This present-day museum was owned by the Hadel family in the 1800s and operated as a sugarcane plantation with hundreds of working slaves. In the 1990s, John Cummings purchased the land and spent 15 years collecting artifacts, learning the slave stories, and preserving the pre-existing structures before opening the museum as a tribute to the slaves in December of 2014.
Our digital encyclopedia will focus on how the Whitney Plantation educates people of the realities of slavery in order to inspire them to make changes to eliminate racism in the future. This museum memorializes the lives of those who were enslaved to elicit a powerful emotional response from the visitors.
One of the main monuments is the Wall of Honor, a tribute to the 354 slaves that were owned by the Hadel family and worked on the plantation. This wall has all of the slaves' names printed, followed by their personal information. This, accompanied by the various statues around the property, humanizes the idea of slavery that so many people have written off as being an isolated event of the past. It makes tourists realize that these were actual people who are being exploited and treated cruelly.
Our encyclopedia on the Whitney Plantation will help students and researchers learn more about how the roots of racism are tied to slavery. The United States was ashamed of the history of slavery, and it has become a topic that is avoided out of embarrassment. Museums in the past have included slavery exhibits, but they have never been the main focus, nor have they been so interactive until the opening of the Whitney Plantation. This museum eliminates the ignorant attitudes about slavery among the white society and also honors the African American culture. It shows the visitors the cruelties instead of just stating the facts and statistics relevant to slavery. Acknowledging the past of slavery, owning the fault, and becoming educated is the first step to reducing racism and building a better future.
The main audience for our encyclopedia entry will be Americans invested in learning more about how contemporary and political life is shaped by the history of slavery. We want to target people who are wanting to change the racist path that society is currently following into the future. Many reviews of the Whitney Plantation have expressed how this museum's purpose is a crucial step for the United States that was very needed. This museum demonstrates the harsh links between slaves and slave owners in a very powerful way that will inspire change in today's society.
One of the main challenges we faced when researching was finding sources that exclude emotional bias. However, as we continued to analyze and dive deeper into understanding the Whitney Plantation, we realized that this bias adds to the meaning of the museum in today's society by illustrating the impact this museum has on visitors and how no one leaves without gaining a new perspective on slavery and its importance.
We do have a few factual peer-reviewed journals that offer insight to more broad themes that the Whitney Plantation uses. One that we have found very useful is Renee Ader's Slavery and Its Memory in Public Monuments. This provides insight to how powerful public monuments are in honoring the African American culture and drawing an emotional response from the viewers.
As partners, we will divide the work amongst ourselves equally, but also work together since our individual research will overlap. We will each have a certain task to complete by a deadline that we set for ourselves, which will be a few days before the class deadline, so we have the opportunity to get our work revised by Dr. Ionis. We will review, edit, and offer feedback on each other's work when we meet. We will communicate and set up times to meet, but all work will be completed on a shared Google Drive so that we are both able to edit. The main problem that we anticipate could happen is that our research overlaps too much and our encyclopedia gets repetitive. But during our meetings, we will discuss to be sure that this does not happen.